landmark ruling awards social benefits to LGBTQ+ families in India. In a historic judgment, the Supreme Court of India ruled that non-traditional families, including queer ones, are entitled to the same social benefits as traditional families. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud and A.S. Bopanna ruled this landmark decision into existence on August 28th. It grants legal protections to LGBTQ+ families, as well as other non-traditional families in India, including single parents, step-parents, and adoptive families. The landmark declaration comes after a specific case in which a mom sought maternity leave to care for her biological child, even though she was already granted maternity leave in the past to care for her adopted children. The case compelled the top court to highlight how non-traditional families are entitled to the same benefits as traditional families. The justice declared, quote, "The law must not disadvantage families which are different from traditional ones. Familial relationships may take the form of domestic, unmarried, partnerships, or queer relationships." They added that the caretakers who traditionally occupy the roles of mother and father of children may change with remarriage, adoption, or fostering. Such manifestations of the family unit are equally deserving of legal protection as well as benefits available under the social welfare legislation, end quote. This move comes after 4 years after the country's top court made changes to Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code to decriminalize homosexuality. It's also hot on the heels of a gay marriage that took place in Telangana between Supriya Chakrabarti and Abhay Dange. Currently, there is a matter before the Delhi High Court seeking recognition of same-sex marriage, which will be heard next in December. And for a litigant, the language that this ruling gives is wonderful. Breathtaking, and it's comprehensive, and it goes out to single out queer couples. That is unprecedented, and I think it's so beautiful that India is moving in that direction. And if I were to be a litigant in India, I would use this language to even fight for further rights for LGBTQ families and children, because it's a powerful, powerful ruling.
You know, it's interesting to me to be watching what India is doing. First, it reminds me of America in the 1990s. We're watching India in 2022, in similar ways to America in 1990s. Don't ask, don't tell is beginning to appear. Many politicians are beginning to reevaluate their thinking in civil rights and LGBT civil rights. That's one point. The other point that I think is interesting is almost in every society, India is very different than America. Its attitude on LGBT is very different in America. As tough as the news is in LGBT, let's remind everybody that we have 80+% acceptance of the LGBTQ community, of LGBTQ marriage. When we talk about the craze that we are watching, we're talking about a tiny percentage of people that are very powerful and have gigantic voices, but they are not the majority of America. In India, it's not that.
Certainly.
The majority of India is not in a place yet where they have broad acceptance of LGBT. What's so spectacular, I think, of this, which is paralleled to America, is rights often begin in the courts. And that's what's happened here. The court is ahead of Indian society, and that will lead to broader and broader and broader rights and interpretations, because people will start decriminalize homosexuality, and then they take the next step, and then they take the next step, all initiated by courts. And people begin to realize, oh wait, I have a gay cousin and he's not so bad, and so therefore it must not be so bad. That's how it works. And that's what I think is beautiful about India. We're watching that firsthand.
It is, I mean, I want to go back to the point about courts and expansion of civil rights, but we're also looking at the pitfall, because, for example, yes, we got Obergefell, we got Texas sodomy case, and all those rulings end up at the Supreme Courts that benefits us. But now, since we never actually codify it into law, the Supreme Court, including Clarence Thomas, is now saying that, oh, we can, after striking down Roe v. Wade, maybe we can go nudge, go back to those rulings and, take away the rights too, there.
The silver lining here is we're at September 1st. The Senate's getting ready to come back. We're 3 to 5 votes away to codify gay marriage. So we're breathlessly waiting and watching and seeing.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.